Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining wherever you're joining from. Good to see where everybody is from on the map there. Welcome to another week. It is going to be a hot week this week in Portland. So, yeah, I'm got the AC turned on already. It's pretty warm outside already. Didn't even cool down last night. Yeah. So, welcome. Don't have much of a plan again because I was out in Vegas last week for a conference. So, as usual, I've got all the stuff here we can chat about. I can plug things in, turn them on, experiment. So, let me know if you have questions. If you do have a question, start your message with the letter Q. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see amongst all of the chat. Otherwise, we're going to just kick things off. What are you doing? Says Singer looks good. Yeah, thanks. So that is now actually I moved it into OBS, and it's working. It is transitioning from two scenes, and it's a Stinger in OBS, actual proper like Stinger transition. It's only a little bit weird how it works, but this is I have two scenes that I use for this now: the live stream without the map and the live stream with the map. Essentially, it's the this layer has the, let's see, if I turn it off, I can actually show you what it does. I just have to turn off the key, otherwise it'll cover up the stream. So if I go back to this, you can see it actually ran the Stinger transition, which is not my favorite thing because at the beginning of the stream, when I switch to the map, I actually don't want the Stinger, but I can't, there seems to be no companion action to change the Stinger, to the transition. So anyway, this one has the map layer. The chat is still on top, although I don't use it. But if I ever did click a message, it would show up. And then I have this like image over the top, this top and bottom part. And then when I start the show, I have a button in Companion that will go and switch to this scene, which then runs the Stinger. And then this scene has only the chat. It works. I do wish I could change the transition from Companion. That way I could cut to the map, because I can't cut to the map now. But it's working better than I expected it to, so that's nice. Yeah. Clear Life Media says hello from I-10 in Louisiana. 6 more hours left of a 17-hour drive from Miami. That is a long drive. Thanks for the stream yesterday. Helped pass some of the drive late last night. Good to hear it. Yeah, yesterday did a members only stream for people while I was building out the video cart, which is coming along. I've got about as far as I can get without the wheelbase. So this is what it looks like right now. It is, yeah, it's pretty well put together. I can go give you a closer look of it if you want in a little bit. Let your nerd be heard says you could right click on the scene and override the transition on the scene. Let's see what that does. Oh wait, I need to go turn off the live stream, no map, with map. Transition override. It already is set to none. I want to, yeah, it's already set to none. That one's that's also set to none. So it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Because ideally, when I go to that, it should not run. And then this is, yeah, now that's like global. It's not per scene, which is weird because it says scene transitions. Yeah, I can't seem to get it to do that. Oh well. Oh, transition override set to none means use whatever scene transition is set globally. Well, that's confusingly named. Okay, we're gonna try it one more time. Transition override cut. So there's the Stinger, and now hopefully no Stinger. Hey, I learned something today. Look at that. That's great. This is how much I use OBS. Not at all is the answer. Cool. Well, that works. So now it'll run that to start the show, and I can now actually bring in the map without the Stinger. That's what I wanted. Cool. Apex Media says, I found out something funky with the YoloBox. If you try to HDMI out directly to HDMI to fiber converter, it does not work. I've definitely noticed a lot of weird things about the HDMI in and out on the YoloBox. I have the same problem in reverse where the inputs don't work with some of the Blackmagic converters. So I can't patch it into my gear like I can with the rest of the stuff, which is really annoying. You have to put something in between. I do HDMI in to HDMI out with the bidirectional converter to the fiber converter. That's funny that one works. Because I have well, I don't know which ones are bidirectional actually in my rack. So some of these are bidirectional, but the ones that are these little patch things that go in and out from, so I can patch in gear here, for some reason, don't seem to work with the YoloBox, which is very annoying. Gwen says, OBS always confused me, so I switched to Ecamm a while back. Ecamm is definitely the friendlier version of OBS. Cool. Okay, questions coming in. But before that, let me make sure I didn't... Michael, I feel bad covering up Aaron's own pin on the map each time. It's fine. It's fine. Keith says, how's your house coming? I am behind on posting updates to the house channel. Somewhere in the YouTube links below is a link to the house channel for the detailed update, but I am behind. I need to finish editing the last thing we filmed, which was like a speed run through all the updates we did. It's coming along. We have countertops, we have backsplash tile, we have paint everywhere. Everything's painted, so really missing the appliances and plumbing right now. But I think a lot of that's going to happen this week, so we will see. Clear Life Media says, would you use an Ultra Studio and a video software if you wanted to use a Stinger outside of OBS, or you could run a Stinger only in OBS? So I don't know if it was obvious from what I was doing, but I am using OBS is actually fed into an Ultra Studio on the desk here. So that's where the Stinger appears. And then that is, here, if I turn off the key, I can show you again. So if you look at the little tiny monitor here, actually, wait, let me set it up over there so I can show you bigger. Let's send it here. It is going to get the Ultra Studio fill. Okay, it's that one. So if I go back to the map, good timing. You can see that's the output of the Ultra Studio, and the Stinger is there, right? So that is then brought in with key and fill into downstream key 1. So I'm using it with, I am using it with the Constellation right now, and that's the only thing I'm using OBS for, right? I wish I could remember why he couldn't run it in the Constellation. So the I did have it until like 2 weeks ago. I had it in the Constellation as an actual animation there. The problem is that I am trying to do two things with OBS. One is the map and one is the chat. So the problem was, I think I went through this a couple weeks ago on the stream. The problem is that I couldn't get the timing to line up because, what was it? In order to, right, because the chat needs to be a downstream key overlaid on top, but the map doesn't really make sense as a downstream key. The map really should be treated as a video layer. So what I was doing was switching the Ultra Studio output between being used as a downstream key and as a video source, and then it would never actually line up exactly right. So you would sometimes see like a little, quarter-second gap before the Stinger would run, or I couldn't get the cutover to line up exactly. So If I ran the map through a totally different device, like a Fire TV, which does work, which is actually what you're seeing up there, then I don't have a problem of running the Stinger in the Constellation. But the Fire TV is much slower at processing the map. It is it's slower frame rate. It doesn't do the animations as well. Also, the font is weird, so that's why it's like giant messages on the screen, which is fine when it's in the background, but doesn't look great on the actual stream. So that's the only reason that's why moving the transition into OBS makes sense, because that way I can keep the map as a downstream key, run the Stinger to clear it away, and it's a downstream key the whole time. Hopefully that made sense. I don't remember whose suggestion that was a couple weeks ago of moving it into OBS, but thanks for that tip, because I hadn't really thought of doing it that way. So with all those IMEs, can't you use them both as DSKs? The problem is that I'm trying to use one video source for two purposes, not the other way around. So I'm trying to use the Ultra Studio for two things. Really, like if I had one other solution to this is I run OBS on a separate computer and use just the small little the Thunderbolt device that only has one channel, because I don't need a key channel for the map. I could do that. I might do that at some point. Like if I end up getting a little Mac Mini M4 to replace this, I would probably just turn this into the map. So this computer could just run the map only, and it would work. And then I would also get a better map on the screen back there. So oh, that was Adam. Yes, thanks. Cool. So anyway, where was I? Great, my audio system just went completely nuts right when you answered. I'll have to rewatch later. Oops. Well, you should be able to find the timestamps to it pretty quickly later, because remember, in the description below is a link to a page that shows all of the questions that I show on screen with timestamps, so you can jump around pretty quickly that way. Cool. Okay, let me scroll back up for the questions. Don't forget to start your message with Q if you want me to not get lost in the chat. Kura says, I followed the Blackmagic Television Studio 4K 8 since its release. Still think it's a great piece of gear, but there doesn't seem to be much content or discussion online. What's your take? 4K 8 is the big one, right? Yeah. What's my take on it? Yeah, I agree. It's like solid piece of gear. 8 inputs, 10 outputs. This one does not have the 4K version is not ISO, so there's no ISO recording in it, just regular program recording. I mean, it's, it's an ATEM, so it's works the same as every other ATEM. Probably haven't seen much content online about it, because it's like not that much different fundamentally from the rest of the gear. I guess the 4-port built-in switch is kind of unique, but again, it's mostly like if you've used a Constellation or an ATEM Mini, even, like, it's going to do the same stuff, just bigger, right? It's also expensive, so it's not like not something I can just sort of casually bring in. I did at one point have the HD8 on loan from Blackmagic, so I did do a video about that. I don't really think there's much point in doing another video about the 4K version, just because it's the same. It's just 4K. So, yeah. It is priced out of the YouTuber space as well. I agree, yes. It is not something for a casual home studio. Neither is my Constellation 40 input switcher, but, Let Your Nerd Be Heard says, got a favorite feature of Companion V4. Mine is satellite as a connection. I just saw that Companion 4 came out. That is exciting. I have not updated mine. I should do that. And I should definitely update. Looks like a bunch of new great features. Also, it looks like not too worried about the compatibility of upgrading between from like 3.5, which I'm on right now, to 4. So I probably will do it in the near future. I held off on the 3 update because it was a much bigger change with modules breaking and stuff. A couple of cool things. I think possibly one of the things that is most interesting is the I can't show you because I don't have it installed. But right now, when you install install one of the modules, and so like I have the Hyperdeck module installed, right? So then I have a bunch of Hyperdecks connected, but they're all using the same companion module. So one of the new things is that you can install multiple versions of modules. So I could actually have an older version of a module installed to work with devices that I know need the older version, but upgrade to the new version in case I want to test it out or use it with a device that's only in the new version. So that's going to help a lot with like because some of the modules get updated slower than others. They also now can be updated independently of Companion itself. They're not like linked together. I think that's pretty cool. It's not very exciting, but it is, I think, gonna be really useful. Oh yeah, and the if then else, also very exciting. So yeah, that's gonna be really, really interesting of you being able to run actions conditionally. So when you press a button, it can do something only if other things are true. So lots of interesting things we can do there. So hopefully, hopefully I'll get some time to play around with that. And maybe I'll get mine updated before next week so we can actually try it. I just heard my own Discord message. I should probably really just mute or just close Discord while I'm streaming. That would probably be better. Yes, that's funny. Okay, there we go. Andrew says, can you record video files from a RØDECaster video directly to a Mac that has a hard drive with a fast enough write speed? No, the RØDECaster video does takes USB drives itself and can record to that drive directly. You can, of course, bring the RØDECaster video into your computer as a webcam, but it's only the one video, not like all of the inputs. So, and of course, your Mac needs a hard drive fast enough, but any SSD will record just one video just fine. Do you know what's the next update for RØDECaster video? I hope it supports TalkBack NDI remote video interview. Those would be great features. I do not know exactly what is slated for the next update. But I do know they're working on an update because there's beta test groups going on right now. So definitely will be exciting to see what they do. I think these are all reasonable things that they could do. No idea what their priority list is on this right now. Taoji says, I got a BirdDog Mackie Ultra and forgot the WebUI password. The default reset is not working. Any solution? I've never used a BirdDog Mackie Ultra. Only BirdDog device I've used is the BirdDog Play, which I need to update now that I think about it because I think they fixed something. Anyway, wasn't super impressed with it originally, but I have no idea. If anybody else has any suggestions for the for how to reset the Mackie Ultra, drop them in the chat. Gwen says, have you played with a Duet 8? John Barker did a stream about it, which reminded me I don't think you've demoed it yet. Yeah, I think I turned it on at one point, but I didn't want to do much of a demo on it at the time because the firmware was still beta. They just released a new version. I need to update to that. I still haven't done that. Maybe I could do that now. Where is it? It's somewhere over here. There it is. Yeah, I have just barely turned it on. Always label your power supplies. GoStream 8. So I could turn this on, boot it up, see what we can do with it. I do need to run 2 update sequences on it, so it'll take a little while. Because they said that in order to upgrade to the latest, I need to first upgrade to a beta or intermediate version for some reason. That was tangled. Bird Dog has such a bad habit of promising future firmware updates and just never delivering. I guess they all have that problem. So this is why I think why Rode doesn't like to pre-announce stuff until and they'll just drop it. Same with Blackmagic too, because yeah, nobody likes hearing about fancy new features and not getting them for months. Including me, when I know about beta features long in advance, it's very frustrating that I can't share it. Speaking of which, Gwen says, is there any hardware switcher that supports remote collar natively? It'd be a killer feature to have that built in with mix minus done automatically. I 100% agree. I know that, I wonder what's happening to the Skype box, because there was the like the really expensive boxes that integrated with Skype. They're used in like TV studios, and Skype is going away, which blows my mind. But I wonder what's going to happen with those. I guess they're just not going to work anymore. So yeah, I do agree. It would be great. So the YoloBox does have this feature, which is somewhere between hardware and software, but it does have the remote collar feature, and it does handle the mix minus automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, as far as I know, it's the only one so far. Maybe we will see more, because I agree, it'd be really useful. You can do it with Zoom ISO, but that's not exactly an out of the box feature. El the Nerd says, we have some of those Skype boxes, can confirm the ones I've tried no longer connect. Wow, that's terrible. That's terrible. What's their plan with it? Like, do you know, has the manufacturer said anything about like what to do with those boxes? Mike says, the PK one I ordered recently for the Director one is pretty loose compared to the one I have for my OBSBot Talent. Is that by design? No, it shouldn't be. I thought they had fixed that because the one I got, which was early, is also a little bit loose. It's just like 3 millimeters too wide. So yeah, I'm hoping they can fix it. It should just be like, it's actually a pretty easy fix. Just need a shorter aluminum bar, just to shorten it a little bit. But it should be, yeah, it should be tight. Thoughts on Video Ninja? Also a great tool for remote guests and like bringing people in remotely, but it's not like a out of the box solution, right? Like you have to have another laptop to pull the video screen up. You have to deal with mix minus sort of on your own. It's a good tool, but yeah, it's definitely not like the YoloBox where you just send people a link and their video is brought in. Not 100% sure. My assumption is it's going to the recycling pile. That's terrible. Those things were expensive too. Yeah, very expensive. Reminds me of Spotify dropping support for car things so quickly. That was also a bummer. I was really excited about that, even just for not in a car, but just for a desk. It's a cool little device. Okay, let me scroll back here to the questions. Apex Media. SDI from the camera to SDI in on the ATEM, then SDI. Camera, okay, ATEM SDI out from the ATEM SDI to HDMI, then HDMI to the YoloBox. Oh my gosh. Oh, this was about trying to get a video feed into the YoloBox. That's a lot of converters. Michael says, for being free, Video Ninja is great, but there's a lot of testing involved, and all participants need to have a pretty solid internet connection. I mean, generally, people need a solid internet connection to get remote guest video to work well. But yes, definitely a lot of testing needed for Video Ninja to get Video Ninja to work, just because it is not plug and play. Index3D says, please contact support to resolve the issue. Fantastic. Yeah, they will fix it. I like that you can bring in each guest as a web source in OBS using Video Ninja, then you can output wherever you want. No, I know, it's great. It's definitely a great tool. It works very well, especially for being free. So it's a good way to yeah, it's a good way to piece together a kit for remote guests. I agree, Matt. Someone needs to build a standalone box to do the guest feature because it is hugely needed. This was one of the things in my wishlist video from ages ago. I still think somebody should do this. Essentially, imagine imagine Zoom ISO, but in a hardware box that has multiple outputs, one for each guest. So imagine you had like 4 video outputs, and then you could just like keep adding people to the meeting, and each person would have their own video going out the port, and that device could be a capture card back into the meeting so that you could feed the program video back in. So yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be a great box. I have some sketches in that video I did a while ago about it. I'm still surprised nobody's done it because the technology is absolutely there now. Also, Zoom has, if you wanted to do it using Zoom, you could, they actually have an SDK now, so you can build Zoom features into other products. So totally doable as like, you know, YoloLive can make a box like this. Anybody can make a little Android box or some sort of hybrid like the GoStream and sort of embed that SDK into it to do this. It would be amazing. Remote guest video is still hard to do, except for the YoloBox, where it's very easy. JHB says, are you using the DJI mic for your audio or still the overhead? It's the overhead right now. I put this on in case I need to walk around because I was like, maybe I'll show you the video cart and go walk around over there. And then I have a way to bring audio in while I'm wandering around. I hate that civilians are good with terrible remote caller sound picture, and it's like pulling teeth to get them to do tag checks. I agree. It's also very hard to convince people, even in Zoom meetings that are not recorded, to have good audio. I am still trying to find a way to politely explain to people that their laptop mic audio with the laptop speakers on inside a small rectangular room makes it extremely hard to hear what they're saying. It is it's just like it takes extra focus to listen to audio that's that bad. And then also you have the problem of if you start talking, your sound goes out their speakers, their mic picks it up, so Zoom's echo cancellation kicks in, which is really good. But then essentially if they're talking, they get cut off. So I feel like people are sort of inherently aware of this, and it means that when someone's talking, you don't want to jump in and interrupt them the same way you can do that in person, where like, yeah. So I don't know how to sufficiently convey how frustrating it is, much less doing a presentation with people remotely and like having it recorded. Gosh. Yeah, they always seem to have hard surfaces that the sound is bouncing off. Agreed. Okay. Hans says, any thoughts about the Blackmagic wireless mic? I haven't even heard of it. Blackmagic wireless. What kind? I'm guessing it's a tiny mic. Let's see. Let's see what this is. It is a tiny mic. Oh, that's cute. I have not seen this before. So you can use it as a. That's cute. You can pack it up in the case and still use it. Okay. I very curious. I mean, I guess having it in the case is probably like just like having the little DJI mic, holding it. Um, cool. I'm sure it's good. Frankly, all of these little microphones are way better than they should be at this point. Yeah. Elden Nerd says, I recently lost my HDMI wireless transmitter. Ouch. Any recommendations? I've been using them so I don't have to do massive cable runs during meetups to record laptop slides. That's a great use of the wireless transmitters because the slight delay they add doesn't really matter. How much do you want to spend? Because there's the really like budget versions that have like way more compression and delay, but they're still pretty good. And that'll be like 100, 150. And then if you want to go up a notch, where you could actually use it for a camera, if you wanted, the Hollyland and Cine Eye both make really good ones. The ones I have from them are a couple years old, but they're still fine. But that's going to be like $400 to $600, but they're really good. So those also have more inputs and output options. So some of them are like HDMI and SDI out on the receiver. Some of them have loop through on the transmitter, which is really good for the slides use case of put the transmitter up at the front. You have your presenters plug in the laptop, and then you feed the projector that's probably got an input on the podium from the transmitter loop through. So if you're not feeding the projector, that's a good way to do it. And the cheaper ones don't tend to have those inputs and outputs. Robert says, I like the DJI wireless. Yeah, I mean, I've never used that one, but I'm sure it's good too. Honestly, all the gear is getting just so good that it is hard to go wrong with anything at this point. Let your nerd be heard says, I got my first Apple laptop. Any must-have apps you recommend for everyday use? Wow. There's a lot there. Must-have apps for everyday use. One of my favorite apps is this alternate calendar. Or not alternate calendar. Alternate clock in the corner. It's very cool. It looks like, the reason I like it is because it helps with time zone conversion too. So it sits up here, it replaces the clock, and then it's got a little calendar for you can quickly jump around to see the months, and then it also does time zones. So it'll show you can choose which time zones you want to show here, and then if you want to be like, oh, what time is 4 p.m. in Sydney, you can just like scroll back. So I'm like, okay, I start my stream at 9 a.m. That's 2 a.m. in Sydney. Sorry, Australians. But you can like very quickly see what time things are at. It's very cool. Full screen meeting notifications. Oh my gosh, I don't use this. That's hilarious. I should probably do that. I just set that up. I don't tend to miss meetings. Actually, you know, it's not going to work for me because the problem is that on my work laptop, I can't use this. And I can't get my work calendar on my personal machine. So, yeah, oh well. Yeah, that is a 2-hour show by itself. Michael says, I want to test Hollyland Cosmos C2's claimed 3,000 foot range. Let's do it because you're in Portland. Let me know if you're in Portland on a Saturday coming up because I have the C2 and I need to film a video about it. And I was thinking about doing this where we go to the river and 3,000 feet. So there is a on the steel bridge. There's a good spot. So this is kind of low, pedestrian only walkway. So measure distance. And if we go 3,000 feet, yeah, so that's 800 feet. So if I stand there, then we can go along the waterfront here and see how far we can get. It's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now this might be a little bit not line of sight enough. But theoretically, we should be able to get to... Well, I'd be surprised if this works because it's cutting across too much land. I bet we can find a 3,000 foot span, though. This is also a good spot to stand. This is like a switchback going up the hill, so I could go to the top where there's a little bridge there, and then that should work. That's good, because I'll be a little bit higher. If that works with the transmitter, I'd be very impressed. That's 3,000 feet. Oh, I think it'd be fun. The other option is bridge to bridge. So Broadway Bridge is nice and high, so I can get up there, and then, or maybe we can even go bridge to land. Avoid using the water as. So let's see, 3,000 feet would get me to. That's kind of a hill. That might work. There's a good. This is easy to bike up. Is that part? So we could at least start by, yeah. It'd be fun. I want to experiment with that. Test the range by doing some biking. Does the 3,000 feet need to be line of sight? Almost certainly yes. Whenever they give those distance ratings for transmitters, they usually are giving you the most optimal conditions. Like that's the max range you can get in optimal conditions. I would never expect it to work at the stated range if you don't have line of sight. You think PDX will let us borrow a runway their smallest is 6,000 feet? That would be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. Although actually, I bet you could, because it's nice and flat over there, right? Because it's an airport. I bet you could actually do some tests over here because this is a street, just a public street. So if we go up there, I can pull off to the side up there, and then let's see, what's 3,000 feet? Wow, the airport is huge. Well, can't get anywhere in there. I'm thinking like, can we somehow get across the runways? There to there. That would work. That's like the going up to the terminal. But there's a whole building in the way, so probably wouldn't work. Because the terminal itself. Oh, it doesn't start till there. So, because I can bike up this and do the loop and then, you know, bike out. So I could do a loop like that. And this, at least, is theoretically is all line of sight because that's just across the runways. That'd be kind of fun. Anyway, sign me up. Great. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. It'll be fun. And now that I have the new cargo bike, I can. It'll be much easier to not have to. Because I can put the whole like Pelican case on the back rack, so I can leave things like more or less set up in there, and not have to like pack it all down to move around. 3,000 foot test might be a nice combo test of the bike cart. Totally, yeah. The wheels were supposed to come today or yesterday, but they got the tracking just stopped showing a delivery date. Let's see where they are now. No ETA. They left Colorado at 3 a.m. this morning. Womp womp. Tom says, I want to upgrade from a cheap webcam to something better for conference calls and training vids I need to make. I know next to nothing about cameras. What are your thoughts on a refurbished Lumix G7? So two things. One, that's a great camera, and you can get them nice and cheap. Do get a better lens than the kit lens. It'll make a bigger difference compared to other things. It's one of the cheapest cameras. It has clean HDMI out, and it can take interchangeable lenses. Solid option. Like I filmed a lot of my early live streams were on that camera. Most of the first House Files podcast episodes in our podcast set, all of them were filmed on that camera. I started using the Pocket 3 when we started doing like filming in the house, but great camera. All that said, it is definitely like more complicated to use a mirrorless camera with lenses for a webcam compared to an actual webcam. And the webcams have gotten really good. So if you really want something that's like no fuss just for meetings, that's going to look better than the laptop camera, things like the Insta360 Link or the OBSBot webcams, those are good. They are going to give you much better video than the laptop camera. But if you're really trying to go like up that extra notch, especially if you're doing training videos, then the G7 is a great option for that. So, yeah. You will need a capture card for using it as a webcam because it doesn't have USB webcam output, unlike some of the newer cameras, though. Just remember that. Oh, Adam, to answer your OBS request at the top, if you run studio mode, you can use the OBS set preview scene action followed by OBS quick transition. That is a good point. That is a good point. I hadn't thought about that. But I think this other option of using the scene transition overrides works fine. Because yeah. So, but that's a good tip. Tom says, what lens camera will be only 3 feet away, capture into ATEM? Okay, so yeah, HDMI out from that into the ATEM is great. For lens, I would say my camera here is about 3 feet away. It's behind that teleprompter, so do I have a tape measure? I did. No, it's on the other side of the room. This is probably 3 feet. I think it's 3 feet. The lens that I have in there is a 12 to 35 zoom, which is a decent lens, and that might be a good way to start because it's not that expensive. Lumix, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this one. It is, I just dropped that in the chat. Let's see. You can find them used too. Oh, this is kind of an expensive one. It's $800 new. Okay, never mind. Used $550. It's a good lens though. The reason that I like it also is because 12 to 35 gives you a good variable range of, if you want the kind of wider look, you can get out to 12. If you want to zoom in a little bit closer, you can do, 35 will give you a much closer picture. I can't remember what mine is set to right now, and it's really hidden, so I can't find it. For a long time, I was using the 15 millimeters, which does it's a good distance, and it gives you a a pretty wide angle, but it looks good at 15 or at 3 feet. That is actually significantly cheaper, so that might be a good way to start. That one is not significantly cheaper. Why am I thinking it's so? Oh, I'm thinking of the 25 millimeter, which is 250, or sometimes on sale for 200 or 150. But the advantage of getting the zoom is like you can play around with it and figure out what you need, and then if you want to go move it to a camera that you use for, you know, filming or photos, you could then buy a fixed focal length lens for the webcam setup at the range that you know you want. This 15 millimeter lens though is really good though, and that was my main lens for a long time. And Gwen is absolutely right. Rather than upgrading your camera, you might get better bang for your buck with good lighting if you're not lighting. Yeah, so that is the first thing I would do is before you go upgrading the camera, definitely mess around with lighting, because you can even get your laptop camera to look a lot better depending on how you are lighting it. Even if I was doing like meetings last week, a couple of meetings between the events at the sessions at the conference, and only had my laptop with me, you know, built-in camera, and I was in this like little lobby corner area of the hotel, and there was a, you know, big giant wall of windows on one side and then the conference center on the other side, and so I made sure that I was facing the window so that the computer camera, so the natural light from the window was on my face, and that way the built-in camera looked a lot better, because if you flip around and you have the dark side of the hotel on your face and the backlight of the window, it'll look terrible. So yeah, lighting first, then camera. Mark says, kind of weird question. I'm filming the Nana, I don't know what that is, Nanamo bathtub races again this year, and we need to communicate with our boats miles away. Any suggestions for comms? Tried walkies last year. Miles. I wonder if you have to go to cell phones at that point. If you have line of sight, you should be able to get radios that work that far. Maybe upgrade one notch from walkie-talkies, like the cheap ones, but the walkie-talkie unregulated will always be lower power than regulated radios. I'm assuming you probably don't have everybody there have a license. What's the range on like the Hollyland comms? I have no idea. Probably not, because Hollyland has the whole like actual comms set with like the base station with a giant antennas. I have no idea if it's going to work miles away though. Tiernan says, I love my GH5 Panasonics, but the Canon I borrowed, my friend has easy webcam, one USB-C cable. Yeah, it is. If you're going into a computer, it's hard to beat when the camera has USB-C webcam support directly. But if you're going into an ATEM, then it doesn't matter. Bowles Promo says, have you updated 3.1 on Director Mini? Remember a couple months back your iPad wouldn't connect to HDMI. It should connect directly now. I saw that in the update. I did just install that before the start today. I had completely forgotten that it didn't work directly, but that's great. That's great that they fix it. There's a couple other really cool new features too. Let's see. Let me grab the HDMI from the floor. There we go. Let's see if this works now. HDMI from, I don't remember why it didn't work, but I do remember being annoyed about that. My iPad is not even recognizing the dongle yet. Let's try plugging the dongle in again. There we go. Hey, look at that. My iPad showed up. That's great. The other cool thing they did, which is the other direction. Do I have a cable? Because this is actually super cool. Let me open up. Oh shoot, where is it? Director utility. Oh, it's a beta version. I hope it's the real version. I do have the beta version installed, but I think it's live now. But I need to grab a. I wish they had USB-C on the Director 1. I feel like that was an oversight. I need to grab a USB-C to A cable. I hope this box has cables that also pass data and not just charging. This feature was in beta for a long time, and I really wanted to share it. Let's see if this works. Drum roll. Plug that in over USB-C. Trust that computer. Don't look at my password. So it did recognize that it's a computer, but that's not showing up. I thought it just popped up when it. That might not be a good cable. Let me get another cable. Or it's also possible that I need to go download the App Store version of this app. While I wait for that to... On my ATEM Mini Pro and the multi-view, the premium program seems to be backwards. Have you seen it before? It's just a setting. You can change it. It's in... let me go to the SDI Pro that I have. So if you go in here, into the multi-view, you can choose which is which. So you can flip them around. I like having the program on the right. I know some people like it the other way around, but yeah, you can just flip it around. Okay, that's also not recognizing it. Let me just download the App Store version. I don't mean the position. Do you mean the video itself is mirrored? That's not possible. Something else is mirroring it because it's not possible for the ATEM to flip the video. Program shows the preview. I have oh, okay. Well, that's a different kind of backwards. I suspect that's not actually what's going on. I suspect that, if I go to, well, this is probably isn't going to work well. I suspect that there's some other thing going on that is making you think that's what's happening, like a transition that's on air or something. The other one is, the other option is if you, let's say ATEM Mini Pro, so there's only one HDMI, but you can change what goes out the HDMI. So double check that. And then also, so if your T-bar isn't quite right, it might be like looking like it's in a different state than it actually is in. Check that too. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what's going on here. For some reason, that's not showing up. The external screen button is not popping up. I can't remember what I did to make it work. I wonder if it's I wonder if it is a wait, it might be USB-C. That I need to plug it in over USB-C. Let's try that. I only have a short USB-C here. I think that's what it is. Aha, there it goes. Okay. So now external screen. This is the new feature they added in 3.1. Oh, come on. Check your network settings. What Wi-Fi am I on? That's an interesting question. I think I'm on the wrong network. Let's fix that. No? What network am I on over here? Both. Darn. That's what I get for not testing it before the show. It's a very cool thing they did. I might have to try it with the Director Mini to see if it's turn the cable around. I mean, that is a classic USB-C problem, right? Sure. Now it doesn't even recognize it. There we go. Nope. Well, what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to let you use your iPad as a screen for this, but then it's also touchscreen controllable. So like it mirrors a screen and it's an entire touchscreen device, which is cool if it works. I don't know why it's not working. It was working in the beta version of the app that I had installed and the beta version of the Director Mini software. But I hadn't actually tried it on the Director 1 yet, so maybe it's that. I wonder why Magewell doesn't support motion GIFs on the D1. Is there an easy alternative? Oh, interesting. I don't know. I know they support video files now, so that was something else they added. Do I have? I just uploaded my Stinger, so I don't know if it's going to do anything useful if I where is it? Custom video clip. Internal storage. Where does it get put when I upload? No. I forget where it goes when I upload. There it is. That. Oh no, it doesn't. It must only support that for stingers. So they added the ability to use videos with alpha channels as a stinger. Let's see, I haven't even tried this yet. Switch stinger. And we'll change that to, where was it? System media, that. Really? It told me it was converting my MOV to a WebM. I might have to put it on the SD card. I tried uploading it from the website. Let's try it on the SD card. And find my file, which is here. Stinger. Okay, let's grab the, I'll put both WebM and MOV on the SD card. Let's see if this works. Okay, Stinger. Change it to the SD card, and then I should have a file. Oops. Should have a file here. That one. There we go. Automatically converted to WebM. Interesting. Did it do it? Oh, that's one I uploaded. Great. Okay. Don't chroma key it. Enable audio. Now we have look at that. That's the MOV file I uploaded to the Director Mini running the Stinger. That's great. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat since I've been ignoring you for a while. Use a Thunderbolt cable. It's a good point. I don't actually know if the cable to this dongle, which is the one I stole from, is a Thunderbolt cable. Somewhere I have a stack of cables. This one should be a Thunderbolt cable. Nope, doesn't even recognize it. Well, you can tell it's a good brand cable, that's for sure. ORXNQ, what the heck? Where are my good cables? This one is Thunderbolt. This one's got the little lightning symbol on it. This is an anchor cable. Please work. Recognized it. Still no. I need to try it with the Director Mini instead of the Director 1. But that's going to take a while because I need to update this to the non-beta. Oh well. Okay. Turn the cable around. Turn the beat around. Yeah. Trevor says, I have 2 Marshall PTZs using Visca IP to control over companion. It was a simple setup, but been fighting the second one for weeks. Any thoughts? I have never used that particular one. I don't know. What do you mean fighting? Like disconnected or what? USB connectors, you always have to turn around 3 times. It's true. It's true. Clear Life Media says, I love the Cosmos C2. Instantly noticed the difference over our original Holylands. Plus, the fact you can have 2 cameras made it even more of a must-have for any broadcast. Oh, yeah. It's a very cool little box. Ooh, this is a good thought, too. There's a setting to change the input names. Someone might have pulled an April 1st and renamed the labels. That is a hilarious idea. I didn't even think about that. Can you rename program in preview? You can. Check that. Because if someone renamed those, you have no way to know which one was supposed to be which. That's terrible. Yeah, both of mine say preview now on the teleprompter. That's hilarious. So 4 should be program, 5 should be preview. I wonder if that's what it is. That's really funny. Carol TV says, I'm using the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Extreme. What's the easiest way to add static lower thirds for college graduation students' names? Up to 200 to 300 names during a live broadcast. Oh, okay. So the way that lower thirds work in the ATEM is using images. So if I go over to my smaller ATEM that is closer to your ATEM Mini Pro, there are images in here. And this is not going to be fun to manage hundreds of names because you only have 20 slots and yeah, it's just not going to work. So instead, use you're going to need to treat it as like something that's happening outside your ATEM. And there's a bunch of different ways to do it. You can use there's like a whole bunch of web generator lower thirds generators. There's one by well, yeah, this is going to be a lot too even. H2R Graphics is pretty good where you can create a bunch of different kinds of lower thirds here and then like bring them into your this little green window is showing you like you would feed that into your ATEM and then chroma key it out. You've got like lower thirds like that. You've got tickers, all sorts of stuff. This is a web page that you can then bring into OBS or full screen out on a monitor and plug that into the ATEM, chroma key it out. But then you still have to create them all in here. So there's other options that will let you like tie it to data sources and do it more dynamically. But in any case, like regardless of the software side, they're all going to end up being essentially like give you a web page out. So then you can bring that into OBS. So that's how I do the map, where I bring it in as a web page. OBS is then outputting over if you want good transparency, you need a device that has 2 outputs and eats up 2 of your inputs. You can also chroma key it if you want slightly less crisp or fine edges. Probably good enough. And then you can do just the little Ultra Studio box. So it's a little Thunderbolt device that has HDMI out, and that would go into one of your inputs. And then you would need to chroma key it or luma key. So if you have a black background, you can do luma key. Fill source would be one of your cameras. Key source is the same camera, and then do this, adjust the clip until it looks good. That's basically how you're going to end up doing it in the ATEM. There's also, I guess, going to be some software options that output directly a video feed. So the that then you can skip the OBS part if that can output directly. Or yeah, actually, Gwen, great idea. Keynote or PowerPoint is also another good option. Where you can just create a slide deck and then just full screen out on a laptop and, you know, bring it in that way. Clear Life Media says we use Tidler Live. For something like that, use Google Sheets and it links to Tidler Live. Then you can cycle through the names. And it's a good. It sounds expensive. Keynote's a good free option. So yeah, there's some ideas. Robert says I wrote a graphics program that can output the grads' names. If you want to try it out, you can IM me. Oh, thanks, Lola TV and Birdfeeder TV for the super chat. Appreciate it. Oh, we are already running up way past the hour. On the director menu for touchscreen, have you set the USB-C output to UVC video? Oh, that's right. No, I probably didn't. That's probably what it is. Let's see. Restart. Keynote and PowerPoint are only good if you don't have late students or changes to the list of students mid-event. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's actually one of the better options because it's pretty quick to update a Keynote file if you're just running off of a laptop next to you. Definitely easier than like exporting graphics into the ATEM. Matt says, in IT class way back when I was in college, 1980, I reprogrammed the CRT display and reversed the E and the I, so if you press the E, it showed an I. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, let's see if this fixed it. Oh, I've got the stinger on still. I should probably get rid of that. Just do a regular cut. Oh, well, there we go. Look at that. Now this is an external screen. So, and then you can do multi-view. Let's see, I think it's just multi-view. Or you can do duplicate screen, and then it becomes a touch screen. So this is actually really cool. So now you can use an iPad as a multi-viewer. You can use it for a giant program out. You can even loop out HDMI 1 or 2. Or duplicate screen gives you the ability to actually use it as a giant touch screen, which is maybe less important on the Director 1 because this screen's a lot bigger, but on the Director Mini, this one can definitely be hard to tap the tiny buttons if you have big fingers. So now you can get a giant screen over here. Thanks for that. I totally forgot about that, Razor Review. That was the secret, was making sure that the USB-C output is set to UVC mode, not file transfer mode. I don't know why it was set to file transfer mode. I don't ever do that. Does anybody remember when you could send a Photoshop graphics to the ATEM? Is that still a thing? I thought it was still a thing. Is it not a thing anymore? Let's find out. Oh, I was working on the photo booth graphics. Export. Blackmagic image export. Is it just... Huh, I wonder what Blackmagic device it was trying to export to. It must be trying to export to the Ultra Studio. Interesting. Let's try that. Let's get rid of OBS and see if it's trying to output to the Ultra Studio. Yeah, it is. That's interesting. And it's how do I turn it off? I don't know how to turn it off. But now I have oh, and it's not live updating. It was a static export. No idea how to turn it off. And now it's covering up the stream because I have oh, it went away. When I left Photoshop, it went away. That's so weird. Well, I think I have to quit Photoshop now because it's taking up the device. That's so weird. I don't know why I would do this. There we go. Now I have to open OBS again. And we're back. Yeah, I thought I put images in the media pool. That option is not showing up for me now. I don't know why, but I do remember it's weird. You have to have Photoshop installed first, and then you have to install the ATEM software control, and then it will go and like add the plugin. But yeah. Hey, Lola TV gifted a membership, and we got a lucky winner of that membership. Bjarni is a new member. Thanks. That's fun. Bowles promo says the Photoshop export is real cool and still works. Okay, cool. So I apparently didn't do it in the right order for mine. I think if Photoshop updates, then you have to reinstall software control to get it back in, get the plugin back in. I hear the cats running around upstairs. Where's the cat cam? Oh, I don't have the button for it anymore. Cool. Can we still have a confidence monitor? Is that in regards to the touchscreen? I guess if you ran HDMI out for a confidence monitor, you could do that because you can set the HDMI out to be not duplicate screen, but to be a program or loop out. So I think so. I just realized we've been staring at this video of from the other camera over there of this cart, and I was gonna go show you the cart, but I never did. So let's do that. Let's grab my NDI camera on my phone. Do super stickers work in your chat monitor? No, I don't think so. Oh no, they're not even showing up. Oh, they're showing up blank. This is supposed to be a super sticker. I need to fix that. Thank you for the tip. I went over and saw it in the actual chat. Well, thanks for the super sticker. I need to fix that in my software. But yeah, appreciate it. Cart. Okay. I've got the phone camera, and I've got audio from the phone, from the mic. So we're gonna switch over the audio and video, and I'm gonna walk over and show you the cart. Okay. So, excuse the extremely messy studio. This table is everything I need to do videos about. It's very stressful. Okay, this is the cart. So this is the idea is to stash like a battery and stuff down there. It's gonna have panels on all the sides. I can only put this one panel in so far because I need to drill holes through the aluminum extrusion to mount the wheels on the side. So there's going to be bicycle wheels, big bicycle wheel mounted like that. It should be, the wheel should end up just a couple inches off the floor, so that to roll the cart, I will undo this and then flip this up, and then it'll be rolling on the wheel. So I do that for all four sides, lift it up, and it'll be a rolling cart. And then, yeah, so there'll be a panel here eventually. This little desk lip is meant to fold down. So again, I can unscrew this, both of these. Here, actually, let me do that. If I set this phone over here, I should be able to show you that. So let me do this one. Oh, wait. I need to do, I feel like wasn't supposed to do both of those. I'll have to get better at this. Okay. I can leave that there. Let's see. Let's do this one. No, I do have to undo both. Okay, that's fine. So we undo that. We undo that, and now that folds down. There we go. That's what it is. So I don't want to actually undo that one entirely. That folds down, and then I can lock it in the down position. Like this. If I can find the little nut. So this is the position for transport. And now the desk is locked down. It's a little bit narrower. It protects the stuff in the front. But if I want to set it up for an event, I undo that one, loosen that one, go like that, and then latch it in the up position. That was a little bit too tight. There we go. So I can latch that. Latch the other side. And yeah, now I've got a little desk to work from. So on the underside here is a little shelf for, again, just like putting random stuff, but I've got rack ears in case I do want to put rack gear across. I made little holes here so I can strap things down. There's din rails so I can attach things. I've got like just little random handles to be able to strap things to. The idea is basically to set up all the gear under here and then roll this around. So the top, I put this extra little thing up here. It's supposed to have one on the other side. Also, just again, to have a place to strap things to, like a monitor or whatever. I've got holes for cables. So pretty fun. It will have a panel on that side also. And yeah, let's come back here. I cannot see the chat while I'm using my phone. Sorry. Hopefully that all worked. Step one towards building the inevitable outside broadcast truck. Yeah. So this is a trailer for my bicycle. So theoretically, I'll be able to pull it on my new e-bike. Good suggestion to have additional chat screens around the studio. Yeah, I do. I should, because I do have this one, which is useful if I'm doing something on my ATEM, like a demo. I can at least still see new messages. So really, I just need that screen somewhere else around the studio too. Does the knob screw versus spring-loaded pin make it stronger for when in transit? Same question for the legs. I would assume so. Spring-loaded pins weren't available from the place I got all this stuff from, so there's also that. But yeah, the knob screws, you can tighten them pretty tight by hand. I wish I could tip Aaron some time based on his to work on his video project to do. Really, I just need to figure out a system for filming videos about all these switchers, because I have to make a video about this one. I have to make a new video about this one because there's a new firmware update. I need to make a video about this one and about this one and about this one. This is the odd one out, but the rest of these are video switchers, which I really should just have a template for at this point of like, what do you want to see? What do you want to know? What are the important questions you have about these? Because I don't know how I'm going to get through this pile. Change the screen behind you with a map to chat when you wander. That'd be a good way to do it. I don't have a chat screen piped into the video system yet, but that'd be a good way to do it. I need more devices. The iPhone view on Director 1? No, it's actually a different camera. This is actually showing, this is the AV cans over SRT, which is also why it's a little bit delayed, if you can tell. Tiny Switcher Marathon upcoming. I was thinking about, wouldn't it be fun if I took all of these switchers and set them all up at the same time, powered them all on, and routed video into all of them, and then just do like a live stream about all of them. But the thing is, that's not what they want. They want like a dedicated video about their switcher, which I agree is better for people who are watching. So yeah. What are you doing? One, what does Aaron want it to do? FAQ about switchers tested, features, they highlight. That's doable. I feel like go through and demo every feature just takes a long time. Oh, most asked questions about switchers on each switcher. How am I going to get the most asked questions? I would have to, maybe I can use these live streams for that. That could work. I could do turn into like a 3-week process or something of like do a couple of demos live of the switchers, play around with them, get questions, and then I film the narrative video. Daisy chained them all. I was going to do it like I do my Matrix, where I just have copies of all the videos sending out to all of them. Take 30 minutes out of the live stream to do a demo. So what I have noticed is it's very hard to plan a video that's going to look good as a edited video and film it live. There's just different expectations for pacing and content. Maybe I just need to get over that. But also, like, if I make a mistake and it's live, it's fine. But making a mistake isn't like spending 5 minutes figuring out, like, trying different cables. That wasn't terribly fun to watch in an edited video, but maybe it's okay to watch live because it's part of the journey, right? But, like, I would have to cut that out of the edited video. So, yeah. Using your conference live event support scenario, does each switcher address all the needs? See, I can make like 3 videos about each switcher. And this is kind of what I did with the RØDECaster video. It's a lot of work. But that's why I have a RØDECaster video about filming a podcast, filming a conference, using it for a small studio like this. And those are all good videos by themselves, but it's like three videos is a lot to make. And these are not like paid videos. So, and as much as I appreciate when companies send me the stuff to test out, because it means that I can test it out and actually get a sense of what it's like and share that with you. However, the gear is not payment. Companies like to think that sending me the gear is like paying to have a video done. It is not. I cannot buy things with this. No, OC is actually great about it. Other companies are a little bit more like, yeah. So, anyway, BTS, YouTube, ask ChatGPT. I could just turn my channel into an AI channel. I just found a website that was like, voice clone yourself with 10 seconds of sample audio. I can just make my channel a voiceover channel that's all done through AI. Yeah, getting the free gear is only great when you actually were going to buy it to start with. Right, exactly. And how do I know I was going to buy it? Well, I needed to have enough information about it in order to know I was going to buy it, at which point I don't need to test it. So, yeah. But no, like, I mean, because most of this channel is about video switchers, I like having the range of switchers available to me to demo. But things like the microphones and stuff where it's like, do I need 6 tiny microphones? Absolutely not. So Clear Life Media says, I've always wanted to see that from product releases. Sometimes I wish they would show best use cases, like what this solves. Maybe that's how I can do it. Is like, what's the most unique thing? Gwen says you have to pay tax on free gear you get, so it's sort of like you having to pay to review their stuff. I don't know how it's going to work now with tariffs, but I have not been treating the gear as income, if that makes sense, for my income tax purposes, because it's not. It's you know, gifts or samples or whatever, and the value of it is a lot less than the purchase price. So like you'll see like the customs import things of like, you know, the value of the import is much less. That's all changing now, potentially. So I don't know what that's gonna mean for me going forward, but in the US, I have not had to pay for receiving gear. In other countries, I know they do. But yeah. Apex Media says, I reached out to YOLO for this. Maybe someone here, or you can answer, is there a way to create animated thirds that work natively with YOLO mechanics, like scoreboard, you can change the score? As it stands, all I can do is play pause and animated thirds or YoloCast. Yeah, I was going to say YoloCast, I think, is the only way, but you can do it right now. Based on your experience over the last 5 years, yeah, I just need a structure so I can just sit down, film, go through it, get a video done. Still have no clue I'm going to pay in tariffs for the bonding encoder I bought. Should get here next week. Let us know. Let us know. Okay. I think we're going to wrap it up for today. I don't think I have much left in me for doing much else. Hopefully you enjoyed the nice little tour of the video cart. The wheels should arrive, I think, this week. And then I'll be able to actually finish putting the panels on and roll it around on the back of the bike. So, yeah. Oh, Circuit Baker, did you manage to get 2110 to work over your network? Did you find the right multicast settings? I have not solved the problem that I want to solve, but I am able to get it to work if I do the like VLAN segmenting and like locking down the traffic on different ports, which is not ideal. So I am still hoping to fix it for reals. Okay, we are going to wrap this up. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks, Hans. And of course, thanks to all of you. Thanks to the extreme supporters of the channel, Tom, Larry, Andre, Kevin, and Marcin. And thanks to all the other channel members as well for your support. If you are a channel member, make sure you click down below to the members only area and join the Discord. And we will chat throughout the week on Discord. I am in town this week. Still have a lot of work to do this week, but I'm at least in town, and it's gonna be really hot this week. So maybe I'll come down and enjoy this air conditioning and work on some test out the Go stream or something midweek. We'll see how it goes. Of course, enjoy the sun if you're in Portland, or if you're not in Portland and it's sunny, also enjoy the sun. And maybe I will see you on a bike ride around Portland, because there's a bunch of bike rides going on all summer now. I'm actually this evening going to go to a cargo bike ride. Sadly, I can't bring the new trailer yet, but I will bring my cargo bike and hang out with other cargo bike nerds. It'll be fun. If you're around, feel free to join. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, see you all again next week. Bye.